Do you really expect to know what's going on in the Chainsaw Man film? Whenever Fujimoto has work released, I always come into it with absolutely zero expectations, other than the fact I will have no idea what I just watched. This man will emotionally ruin me, crumble my heart into tiny pieces, and laugh at me when I cry about it. And then a Chainsaw Man will ride a shark into battle. Chainsaw Man Reze arc just dropped, and holy lord, what a watch. Spoilers ahead, obviously, this is a review, so you've been warned. Denji has fallen in love again. Who would have thought? And this time with a girl named Reze who works at a cafe. They spend time together on multiple dates as Denji toils between his love for Makima and what's newfound with Reze. The scenes between the two are hard-hitting and really fill you with hope for Denji, as much as dread for anyone who knows Fujimoto. I know Fujimoto. This was never going to end well, and ultimately Denji decides upon rejecting Reze's notion to run away with her, where it is then revealed she was secretly the bomb devil, trying to steal away Chainsaw's heart. What ensues is some of the greatest Mappa fighting sequences I have seen, and that's not even me saying that from recency bias. This is genuinely phenomenal, what is on this film. These Mappa animators cannot be being treated well, man. It's just... this is ridiculous. The fighting is genuinely top-notch, and I love wacky switches in colouring and animation styles throughout key moments of the battle. In particular, the bomb devil, when she's shooting bombs from her hands, that is so cool. It never once wears off how cool that is. And on top of that, Reze never really loses her prowess within the battle as well. Going straight into the fight sequence, it's clear from the offset she's a lot stronger than Denji, and it never really comes across like Denji just randomly gains power to overcome her. All the time that he manages to outpace her in the fight or get a leg up against her, it's done through strategy or it's done through teamwork. And it's one of those things where, as much as Fujimoto is a very flashy and action-based mangaka, he really does have that notion for understanding the peaks and lows within a battle and the character arcs that come with these battles, and it's what makes this film so entertaining. Like I said, Fujimoto isn't all flash and action, as shown with Look Back, and thorough work into building personality through the fights demonstrates this incredibly well. Aki and Angel's mini arc is a good representation of that in the film, as they feud over the matter of human life and how they view the world. Fujimoto smartly uses their difference in this view to bring them together at the end, and it is what makes him constantly so revered in the anime community, even given the weird things he says sometimes. I'm not forgetting those. This isn't to say the film is perfect though. I do have a few things in particular that bothered me upon watching this, though I must admit my qualms are quite limited. Unlike Demon Slayer with the difficulties in flashbacks, I think most of this film is great and the pacing of it is very strong. For starters, I think the film makes it way too obvious that Reze is a devil way before she kills the man on the rooftop. I know you could say this is being pretentious, but I feel like the reveal would have been much more exciting if it was left to more subtle clues. I mean, such as the collar that she wears on the neck when around Denji with the pin in it. You could have displayed that a little bit more and have it hinted towards it being a grenade pin. It just felt like it was so obvious from the offset of all the symbolism with the spider and the web. As much as I like those shots, I think it took away from the impact of when it was revealed that she was the bomb devil. And at least for me personally, someone who hasn't read the manga, who doesn't know what's coming up next, I could tell immediately that Reze had something behind that smile, that she wasn't just a good person who liked Denji. And maybe that's because I like a lot of Fujimoto's work, and so I expected there to be a twist, but even still, the reveal didn't feel subtle in the slightest, and it was a little bit disappointing. I feel like I should have felt more impact from finding out that she was the bomb devil. Adding on to that, I feel like the film could have been slightly longer, and specifically in the conversations between Angel and Aki. I did enjoy their time together a lot, and I think the message of the two conflicting ideologies does just about get across to the audience. However, it felt very surface level, and with so little known about Angel, it has me only wishing more time was given to the two so that I could understand his side of thinking and rationale for such discontent towards his own life. Angel was a character who interests me a lot, so I hope to hear a lot more from them in season 3. It was just disappointing in this film that it felt like the idea of Angel was kind of propped up next to Aki, and as much as we got a little bit of conversations between the two and we got their general ideologies, Nothing really went further than that. There was no backstory towards Angel, and more or less it just felt like the time was so limited because it was so focused on Denji and Reze. It's not a massive detraction, of course. I think season 2 will cover that a lot more. I imagine it would. But just kind of a minor thing for me that bothered me slightly, and I wanted to bring it up. That is genuinely my only 2 qualms with the film, though. I just think it should have been a little bit longer with a bit more subtlety in the beginning. Other than that, this is peak Fujimoto, as expected. It's just as good as you'd want it to be. I do think the first season of Chainsaw Man was better than the film, but that's to be expected. It had a lot more time to round out characters. And as much as I love the film, I do wish it spent more time with characters other than Denji, but that's just my own personal preference. Rounding things off though, the ending in particular breaks my heart and makes me have just a bit of spite towards Makima for not at least letting the conversation between the two happen. I ended up really enjoying Reze as a villain. I thought she was incredible and incredibly engaging, and her relationship between Denji was really interesting, how she kind of manipulated him and used him. But also, I think it's fair to say there was signs that there were feelings there, whether friend or more. It was interesting, their dynamic in the characters, and it was sad to see the send-off that she got. I do think this is what makes Fujimoto so great though. Even though Makima is working with Denji, there is clearly something going on there that we don't know about yet. And this made me feel, for the first time, actual hatred towards Makima. I've always been suspicious of her in season 1, but this was a time where it was just frustrating that she kind of got in the way of that conversation, which is good. I would like to say that's a good thing. I think she is a really good character within the Chainsaw Man universe, and I hope season 2 really goes deeper into her character as well. But yeah, I think that moment killing Reze was really, really impactful and demonstrated just a small amount of Makima's character and her intentions with Denji, as well as the other Devil Hunters. I wanted to keep this review quite clean and short because it was only my first watch, and I think I don't want to do character dives until I've watched the film again and formed more of an opinion from other people online. I'm not someone who's super smart or who's read the manga and knows what happens next, so all of this is just my genuine reaction to a film I have just seen. I would like to do some character dives though as time goes on, and if that's something you'd like to watch, I'd be happy to give it to you. I think this film overall is a great complementary piece to the first season and gives a lot more context going into the second season now with Denji. The one thing I will say is that I didn't feel invested into the new characters particularly much. The shark was obviously quite funny, and it was good to kind of get more screen time for Angel, but I don't think there was enough there to really have feelings for these characters like I would for, say, a Himeno or for a Power. The constant name dropping of the Gun Devil as well has me incredibly excited for season 2 and how they will play a part in it. And overall, this film has me more hyped than ever for whatever happens with Chainsaw Man next. It feels like Fujimoto can't put a foot wrong after Look Back, after the first season of Chainsaw Man, and now this. It just feels like he is on a roll as a mangaka that I've not really seen in quite a while, probably since Attack on Titan. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. As always, I really appreciate you watching, and the comments on the most recent videos are lovely to see. I really appreciate feedback, and if there is anything that you think you disagree with or agree with from this video, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Thank you always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.